Hello, this is Mortaza Qashqai from Faro IELTS. Today we're going to be talking about objects. We'll be looking at some questions that might come up in the speaking test about things. And you're going to get some language, some ideas, and some tips. But let's first see some questions that can fit into this category. Let's go. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to teach you how to talk about things in general. And after I've done that, we're going to delve a little deeper and I'm going to teach you how to talk about two specific items that can be used to answer most of the questions, many questions about things, for the sake of simplicity. But first things first, let's begin with the general stuff. When it comes to talking about things, we can always talk about how we got them. I mean, we can say things like, I picked it up at the market while I was looking for something else. داشتم دنبال یه چیز دیگه میگشتم، این رو هم خریدم مثلا. Or I came across it in a second-hand store. چشمم بهش خورد، اتفاقی دیدمش توی مغازه دست دوم فروشی. Or I got it as a gift on my birthday. Somebody gave it to me as a gift on my birthday. It was a birthday present. Let's watch a video recording of me talking about how I got a cell phone. The cell phone was a birthday gift from my parents. I just turned 24 and they gave it to me as a gift, which was a pleasant surprise. Something else we could mention is how we feel now that we have the item, or how we felt when we got it. If it's the present you're talking about, if it's your current feelings you're talking about, you can say things like, it's an essential part of my life. I couldn't live without it. Or I couldn't wish for a better cell phone, for example. Or maybe something like, it has sentimental value for me. It has emotional value for me. پس ممکنه ارزش مادی نداشته باشه، رابطه ارزش احساسی برای شما داشته باشه. For example, somebody you love gave it to you. Or you've had it since you were a child. If it's in the past, if you're talking about how you felt when you got it, you can say, you know, we've gone over them before. I couldn't have been happier when I got it. Or I couldn't have wished for a better gift, for example. Or maybe I'd never felt that happy. Or even something like, when I got my hands on it, I was very happy. When I got my hands on it means when I succeeded in buying it or in getting it, maybe. Let's watch a video where I'm talking about how I felt when I got that cell phone. The cell phone was a birthday gift from my parents. I just turned 24 and they gave it to me as a gift, which was a pleasant surprise. I couldn't have been happier when I got it, because I'd never received a present as expensive as a cell phone. And plus, I really needed one, because the one I had didn't have some of the must-have features. You just watched me talk about a cell phone I was given as a gift. As you saw, I also talked about why I felt that way. So keep that in mind. Let's watch another video clip where I talk about an old watch. I'm going to say how I got the old watch, and also I'm going to talk about how I feel. Let's go. It's an old watch that was passed down to me by my late grandfather. It's not worth a lot of money. I'm just keeping it for sentimental reasons. It has sentimental value for me. It reminds me of my late grandfather. We can also say where we keep the item. Maybe if it's a picture or something, you can say I've fixed it to the wall so that به این هدف که I can see it all the time. Or the picture is hanging in my office. It's hanging on the wall in my office. And you can also say things like, I always carry it in my pocket. I always carry it with me in my pocket. Or maybe it's in the basement collecting dust. It means nobody's using it. Let's go to the video. It's an old watch that was passed down to me by my late grandfather. It's not worth a lot of money. I'm just keeping it for sentimental reasons. It has sentimental value for me. It reminds me of my late grandfather. That's why I've put it on my desk where I can always see it. And one of the most important things, of course, what it looks like, because it's described the item after all, right? So we need to give information about what it looks like. We can talk about the color. Of course, you know about the name of colors. You can also add ish to the end of the colors. You can add ish to the name of colors to say that something is partly of that color. For example, if you say something is greenish, it means it has a little green in it. پس یکم سبز توشه، مایل به سبزه, or yellowish, or maybe brownish. We can also talk about the shape. Is it rectangular? مستطیلیه? Is it square shaped? As you can see, you can add shaped to turn a noun into an adjective. Square shaped, مربع شکله. It's a bowl shaped candle. به عنوان مثال یه شمع توپی شکله. So we can talk about the shape. And come to think of it, we could also talk about the material. It's a leather jacket, for example. کت چرمه. It's a gold watch. It's made of wood. از چوب ساخته شده. So, okay, let's go to the video. I'll be talking about what it looks like, what the item looks like, and also about the material. Let's go. It's a brownish potato-shaped toy which is made of plastic, and because I used to play with it as a kid, it has sentimental value for me. Let's not forget about the quality of the item. If you're satisfied with the quality, you could say it's of high quality. And if the opposite is true, you could say it's of poor quality. And if you've bought something, this one is specifically about buying something. If you bought something and you think it was worth the money, you can say it was a good value. And if the opposite is true, you could say it was a poor value. We could also talk about the technology of the item, whether or not it has advanced technology. If something has advanced technology, you could use the adjective state-of-the-art, a state-of-the-art cell phone. It means it's the best available because it's been made using the latest technology. And if you want to say that it doesn't have advanced technology, you could say it's just a simple machine. It's just a simple cell phone, something like this. Let's watch a video of me talking about the quality of something and also the technology. I thought it was of high quality, so I went ahead and bought it. But turned out I was wrong. It's of poor quality and it doesn't have any modern features. It's just a simple machine to mow the lawn. Anyway, it broke down the other day and I need to get it fixed. So on the whole, it was a poor value. And last but not least, we could talk about what we use an item for. I mean, what do you use your cell phone for? You can say, I use it to do something. I use it to take selfies. Or you can say, it helps me do something. If it's a painting, for example, or let's say if it's a picture, for example, you could say, it helps me remember the old good days. So I use it to do something. It helps me do something. Let's watch the video. It's a pair of scissors, so obviously I use them to cut things. I keep them in the kitchen, so I use them to slice up bread and sometimes to cut meat up into small pieces. Come to think of it, the other day I saw my son cutting out hearts and some other shapes using the scissors. Okay, now it's time to get more specific. Today I'm going to do two long turns, one about cell phones and the other about a piece of clothing. Let's first talk about cell phones. When it comes to cell phones, we can talk about some must-have features. We could talk about the processing power, for example. It's got wonderful processing power. We could talk about the camera. The quality of the camera is great. The camera quality is great. We could talk about the screen. It's got a large screen. And also we could talk about whether or not it has a fingerprint scanner. But remember, you shouldn't just mention the words. Make sure you follow them with some information. Let me show you what I mean. There are two things that I love about my cell phone. For one thing, the processing power is wonderful, so it never freezes, which is amazing. And for another, it's got a fingerprint scanner, so I don't have to key in a password to unlock the phone. When talking about cell phones, what better way to extend our answers than by talking about what we do with them? We could say things like, I use it to navigate my way around. I mean, it helps me find my way around. I use it to access the internet. I use it as a camera. I use it to listen to podcasts. Or maybe about the internet access, you can say, it gives me internet access. So you're going to watch me now do my long turn. I'm going to show you my keywords, but before that, I want to tell you something. The task is describe something you own which is very important to you. But even if the task was different, I might be able to say the same things. So let's take a look at some questions for which I would use the same response. Let's take a look at them. But like I said before, and I can't stress this enough, you need to be flexible. I mean, pay attention to the keywords in the task. If it's about something that you bought, talk about why you bought it. If it's a gift that you got, talk about what the occasion was, why you got that gift. So this is flexibility. This is the flexibility I mean. And if it's about the future, maybe something that you'd like to buy, be careful not to talk like you already have the item. So let's go take a look at the keywords and then my long turn. I'd like to talk about my cell phone because I don't think I have anything that is even half as important. I've had it for 3 months now. It took me almost a year to save up enough to be able to buy it, which is, I think, a testament to how expensive and good it was. When I finally got my hands on it, I was very happy. In fact, I couldn't have been happier. Anyway, it's a black rectangular cell phone. Actually, it doesn't look any different from the vast majority of cell phones available on the market. The screen is very large. so I don't have to hold it close to my face, which is amazing, especially for my eyesight. And another thing that I really like about it is it's got a fingerprint scanner, so it's easy to keep my phone private and secure without having to key in a password every time I want to use it. I just need to place my finger on the scanner to unlock the phone. But of course, this is not why it means a lot to me. You see, I create content for social media, and I always use many different apps at the same time. And you know, the phone's processing speed is wonderful. It's got the processing power to run many apps simultaneously without freezing or anything, which makes it easy for me to multitask. And besides, the camera quality is great. So as you can see, my job depends on it. And no wonder it's important to me. Without my cell phone, I wouldn't be able to do anything, and I'd have to look for another job, I guess. And now close. When it comes to talking about what we wear, we could always talk about the pattern of the piece of clothing. We could say it's checked. It means it has squares on it. Or maybe it's striped. It means there are lines on it. Or maybe it's flowered. There is a pattern of flowers on it. Or we have polka dot pieces of clothing. They have round spots on them. But if something is not decorated in any way, we could say it's plain. Let's watch a recording. The present she gave me was a polka dot green shirt. And the worst thing is I can't find anything to match it. So it's just been collecting dust in my wardrobe. And besides patterns, make sure you talk about the color. Is it bright? Bright means it's strong and easy to see. براقه. Or is it subdued? Subdued means not very bright. کدره خیلی روشن نیست. Is the color fading? I mean, is it losing brightness? So fade means losing. If something is fading, it's losing brightness. داره رنگش میره پس. Is it of high quality and the color never fades no matter how much you wash it? So you can say something like this. And you could also use the word run when the color of something spreads to something else. یعنی رنگ دادن. The color ran, or the t-shirt ran. یعنی رنگ داد. Now it's time for me to do my long turn. So take a look at my keywords and then watch the long turn. It's time for me to say goodbye. I hope it's been useful. Take care of yourself. I'd like to talk about a t-shirt I bought 2 months ago. You know, I always wear subdued colors, and my favorite is dark blue. But my friends had been telling me for a long time to wear a bright color for a change. So I'd been thinking about it, but it wasn't until 2 months ago that I finally decided to add a touch of color to my wardrobe. And at that time, I needed a t-shirt because you know, I put a red towel in the washing machine with my blue t-shirts and the colors ran into each other. So it was a disaster, as you can imagine. Anyway, I went shopping, and as soon as I set foot in the mall, this plain bright yellow t-shirt in the window caught my eye. So I went inside and tried it on, and I loved it. It really looked good on me. It was a little expensive though, and no matter how much I haggled over the price, the salesperson wouldn't go lower. But I bought it anyway because I'd already set my heart on it. And The problem was it didn't go well with my black jeans. The colors clashed. So I bought a new pair of jeans to match the t-shirt. I was really excited. In fact, I couldn't have been more excited to wear my new outfit. And I did. Everybody tells me that the new t-shirt suits me. And I always thank them for the compliment, by the way. A pity, it turned out it's of poor quality because the color has started to fade after only 2 washes. And I don't think I can stop this. So I think I can say it was a poor value.